This is Ricky Lewis, and it's another edition of Rome Live. And in this edition, from healthy food to healthy laughs. How's that? I got Brenda Reinhardt here. Now, Brenda, she does comedy act. How did you even think that you were a comedian?
Well, ever since I was a kid, I knew that I was funny. I was always terrified of public speaking, though, and so I didn't anticipate ever doing stand-up. But an opportunity came to Rome, an open mic for comedy came to Rome, and I knew the host, and I thought, I think I want to try this. And so I went, and it went really well. And I went every week, and within like 4 weeks, people were telling me that I was a natural. And it's so much fun to get people to laugh that I thought, let's just do this and see where it goes.
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
2.5 years ago.
So in the last 2.5 years, you've transformed from...
I say entrepreneur to entertainer.
Honestly, I still get nervous when I do this. So you've probably heard the advice to picture the audience in their underwear. It's supposed to make them seem less threatening so I can relax. And I gotta tell you, I did that tonight. And I'm a little sick to my stomach right now. Glad to see you go commando, sir. That's right. Some of you may recognize me as the Brenda who owned Brenda's Natural Foods and Cafe. Thank you, thank you. Thanks, man. It was a labor of love. It was never easy. Now, Rome might not have been the place for a natural food store, but I've always lived by the adage, bloom where you're planted, right? That's a load of crap, turns out. Now, don't get me wrong, business was great for many years. I mean, business was so good, I needed employees. Every entrepreneur's nightmare, dream having employees. I sold herbal supplements, and one day a lady came in and asked for a supplement for her husband's urinary health. Now, the supplement is called Saw Palmetto. She asked me for saltpeter, right? Like, ma'am, that's going to affect your husband very differently than saw palmetto. Maybe it was a Freudian slip on her part. Could be. A little bit about myself. I'm twice divorced. Damn my overachieving ways. I met my first husband in 1988. Can you imagine? So long ago. I went right to my second husband from my first husband without dating anyone else. I left him in 2018 when I found out he had a girlfriend, kind of a deal breaker. So you're looking at a woman who's come out of 30 years of monotony. Monogamy. Monogamy. That's what it was. My first husband, my favorite ex, as it turns out, Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones and his mom, Shirley Jones, were very tight, and they loved beer. Shirley Jones, like from the Partridge Family, you know. We used to go to happy hour at the Ukrainian Club, and mother-in-law and husband Jones would drink those little draft beers, pounding them, and I could not keep up with the Joneses. Husband number 2, and I call him number 2 for more than one reason, because number 2, you know. I thought he was Mr. Right. Turns out his first name was Always. Before I met him, I didn't know there was a wrong way to stack dirty dishes. Now I know. So I find myself single late in life. I didn't expect this. I considered dating websites. Oof, I know, it seems like a terrible idea. I'd spoken to some women who've done a lot of dating on dating websites, and I realized it's definitely not for me. It seems like it would require a lot of saying no to men, and I've never been good at that. So I'm gonna bypass that completely, and I'm going old school for dating, alcohol and questionable judgment. Worked in the 80s, right? That's how I scored the first husband. So I've been spending time in bars again, and I met a guy. Handsome, single, interested. He said he wanted to take me out to dinner and get me flowers. I'm like, that's cool. I ended up inviting him over for lunch, and he brought me a whole bouquet of red flags. Red flags, people. He's like, wow, great place you got here. Wow, you pay too much rent. It's really cold in your house. You pay too much for heat. I can't believe you have cats. I can't believe you buy this kind of orange juice. I've never heard a man complain so much. I'll probably see him next week, though. See what else I can get him to complain about. I have ideas. And I met a guy who was into role playing. I was very excited. So he pretended to be a contractor, and he came over to give me an estimate. Never saw him again. He was good at that job, right? So aging happened fast. I recently signed up for Social Security retirement. Yay, let's hope they stay solvent until I die. Thank you all for still working. I appreciate it. So I was talking about my newfound income with some friends at a bar recently, and a young guy down the bar overheard the conversation, and he said, hey, I've always wanted a sugar mama. Like, settle down, dude. I called him Skippy. Settle down, Skippy. It's not going to be that much. Best I can do is Splenda Mama. That's my time, guys. I'm Brenda. Thank you.